Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to show you a trick that's going to change how you view pivot tables. If you'd like to follow along with this tutorial, I've included a link to download the practice file in the description. And I've also pinned that link in the comment section. So let's dive right in. In this example, I have a schedule right here. And the plan is to be able to create a matrix or a roster, if you like, over here without having to manually type all of these names into the different date columns or across the shift times. I want to be able to do this in the most efficient manner. To do this, we will be using pivot tables. And I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to achieve this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. And now we have to convert this to a table. So I'm going to use Control A to select the whole table and then Control T. The Excel prompt is asking if my table has headers. It does. So I'm going to click OK. And the next thing I want to do is to rename my table. I'm just going to zoom in here and I'm going to type in Shift. We will see one of the benefits of doing that down the line in the tutorial. Now that we are done with this, the next step is to create a pivot table. So I'm going to click inside of here and I'm going to use the shortcut Alt and VT. And it's asking from which table or range. It's the shift table because we just renamed it. And here's where I want to put it on this existing sheet in cell F2. And watch closely here. There's an option to add this data to the data model. And I'm going to click it and I'm going to tell you the reason why I did this further along in the tutorial. So I'm going to check this box and hit OK. Now I'm going to start to build the report. And the first thing I'm going to do is to come over here and drag the shift into the row label. And I want my dates to be in the columns. And watch what happens once I bring in the names into the values. We're just going to have numbers. And that's not exactly what we would like to see. What we would like to see is the name of the employees for each of the shift times on a particular day. So I'm going to uncheck name and I'm going to go to PowerPivot here. Let me zoom in. I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to move to this side and click under measures and click new measure. So one of the reasons why I said we need to rename the table is because it gives us the table name here. And it's a best practice, as you see when I'm writing the formulas, that we can leverage the IntelliSense and autocomplete function that's native in Excel, PowerPivot, and Power BI. So for this measure name, I'm going to change it to employee name. And for the description, I'm just going to put in DAX to concatenate employee names. If you remember when we were creating the pivot table, I told you that further down the line, I will tell you the reason why it's important to add this to a data model. And the reason is because without adding it to a data model, we will not be able to write measures or DAX, if you like. So that is the main reason why you have to add this to a data model. So I'm going to type in CONCATENATEX. I'm going to hit tab. And now it's asking from which table. Remember, we renamed our table to be shift. And one of the reasons is so that we can use the IntelliSense autocomplete here. To begin the formula, I'll start typing shift. And I already have it here. So I'm just going to hit double click. And what is going to be the expression? The expression is that I want to concatenate names in the roster. So I'm going to go with shift and I'm going to go with the name option here. I'm just going to double click. And what is the delimiter? It's a comma that we want to use to separate the names. So I just open quote marks, type in comma and close quote marks. And I just close parentheses to close that formula. When you're writing a DAX expression, one of the best practices is to always check your formula. So here I'm going to hit check formula and it says there are no errors in my formula, so I'm okay to proceed. So now I'm going to click on OK and watch what happens. This has been auto added onto the report, and now we have each of the names for the dates and for the shift time. So let's look at this date. For instance, over here we have Kevin for morning, and we also have Brian for morning of the 1st of December 2025. And if we go across here in the morning, we see that Kevin and Brian are the employees working on that shift. If we go to night here, it's Ella. And if we also check the nights here, it's Chad, and it's the same thing here. So one of the ways that we can clean this up is to come to the design tab and to remove the grand totals. And that way we have a very clean report that has the names of people responsible for those shifts. One of the good things with this is if, for instance, you have a policy that we need more than 2 people working on a shift at the same time, you can easily tell from here that Vin and Paul do not have other employees working with them, and same goes for Derek and Linda. These allows the scheduler to be able to quickly fill in those shifts because the policy says there has to be 2 people there. Now, what is another thing that we can do? What if we just want to have a table that employees can view to see what their shifts are across the whole month? I will be showing you that also. To do this, I'm just going to make another copy of this pivot table. So I'm going to copy all of it by using Control A to select all of the pivot table. I'm going to hit Control C, paste it here, and click Enter. One other thing that we could do to make this look cleaner is to take out the row labels and column labels here just to make them clean. I'm just going to come in here and clean it out. Do the same for the row labels. And that way we have a cleaner report. So now if I come here, I'm going to uncheck everything. And the idea here is that we want to have the names in the row label and the dates, of course, in the column labels. And now we want to have the shifts across the different dates. So if I bring in shift here, you notice that we have exactly the same issue as we had previously, where it was just displaying numbers and not morning, evening, and night, which is supposed to be displaying. So to do this again, we also have to write a new measure. So I'm going to uncheck shift here, and I'm going to go to PowerPivot. I'm going to go to measures, another new measure. So I'm just going to rename this one as shift name. I'm going to use the same approach. I'm just going to say DAX measure to display shift names. Okay, so it's a very similar formula to what we had before. I'm going to start with CONCATENATEX. Hit tab to open. I'm going to type in shift, double click here, and comma. What is the expression? The expression is the shift itself. So we're going to start typing shift, and we're going to shift is right here. We're going to double click this. In this example, we will not be using a delimiter. So I'm just going to close the formula and hit OK. Before I do that, I always want to check my formula. So I'm just going to hit check formula, and it says no errors in formula. So we're good to go. I'm going to click OK. And Excel can automatically tell that I want to use the shift names in the values, and look what we have here. So Ari, for instance, can see all of her shifts for the month, and she can see what time of the day it is. So these 2 solutions are very powerful and can help both the scheduler and the employees to be able to see their shifts in a more visually appealing way. If you find this content useful, share with others, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.